So now our final speaker, inshallah, we'd like to welcome Ambassador Murat Mercan. He assumed his duties as Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey to the US in March 2021. He was previously the Ambassador he was the Deputy Minister of Energy and Natural Resources of Turkey and the Chairman of the World Energy Council of Turkish National Committee. Mashallah was appointed as the Turkish ambassador to Japan until he held his office in 2021. Let us please welcome, we're so honored to have him here, Ambassador Murat Mercan.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm very privileged to be here and to speak before big crowd in this MSLA convention. Being an MSA chairman long time ago, back in 1986, 87, I'm very excited. And please excuse me if I make any mistake. I start my more or less practical speech by thanking you all on behalf of my country, Turkish people, because of what you all have done when we faced the terrible tragedy back early in February that we had the earthquake. All the Muslim brothers and sisters in the United States, wherever they might be, tried to help, poured in-kind donation, monetary donation, and helped relieve the pain and the sorrow of my people that had gone through. I know I have limited time, so the rest of my time I spared to the quotation of President Erdogan, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, regarding our stance vis-à-vis recent atrocities in Palestine. And it might reflect you, for the youth here, how we can reflect our belief and our position, no matter what the world says. Let me quote him from the rest of my speech. While we as Turkey are mobilized to stop the bloodshed in Gaza, we feel embarrassed observing the unscrupulousness of Western countries. Israeli occupation forces are massacring innocent people every day, including women, children, journalists, doctors, the elderly, and civilians. Yet no country, neither Europe nor the United States, shows even the slightest reaction. Israel and its supporters, which use all the tools of modern warfare, including the threat of dropping atomic bombs against children, women, and the elderly, will be judged not only before history, but also before the conscience of humanity. Except for a few countries of conscience, such as Spain, Western institutions and organizations have completely shut their ears to the cries arising from Gaza. We are faced with a timidly, or rather cowardice, to the extent that they even have hesitate to utter the word ceasefire. The disgrace of the Holocaust has captivated European leaders. Not only the leaders, but also Western intellectuals, media outlets, and human rights organizations are seeking to justify the atrocities, the bloodshed. And its Israeli administration, for its part, is using the Holocaust as a shield for its attacks on the Palestinians, which amount to genocide. Turkey is the only country that Israel cannot label as anti-Semitic, no matter how hard it tries. You cannot see such a stain of shame in Turkey's history. That is why we courageously speak the truth, regardless of whom it disturbs. I am speaking freely, says President Erdogan, because we don't owe anything to anybody. Then I'm going to quote again from his speech when Erdogan spoke next to the German Chancellor Scholz. He said, "I will speak clearly and frankly here too." Next to him was Chancellor of Germany, because October 7 is described as the beginning. The process after October 7 is never discussed. As of now, he said, 13,000 Palestinian children, women, and elderly people have unfortunately been killed. In addition to this, there is almost no Gaza left anymore. The whole place has been leveled to the ground. Israeli government, which deliberately targets schools, mosques, churches, hospitals, marketplaces, buildings and streets, is implementing a strategy of total annihilation of a city and its residents. The Israeli administration has been committing the most abhorrent crimes against civilians in the history of humanity. All terms, including war, fall short of describing what we have been witnessing for the past 40-plus days in Gaza. This is so because even wars have morals, ethics, laws, and limits. I have a lot of quotations from President Erdogan, but I'm going to end by, again, quoting from him to answer the question, why do we care about Gaza? Why on earth we all should care about Gaza? And he says, our youth and the youth of generation before us passed while telling about and condemning the suffering of our brothers and sisters around the world. We shed tears for numerous regions from Crimea to Karabakh, Bosnia to Kirkuk, Palestine to Turkmenistan, Afghanistan to Chechnya. We have not wasted our lives. Today, some people see Gaza as a place far, far away, a place that has nothing to do with us, and even say this openly. However, just a century ago, he says, for this nation, for Turks, for this country, Turkey, Gaza was no different than Adana, a city in Turkey right now. Just as Edirne was no different than Skopje, Kırklareli was no different than Thessaloniki, Mardin was no different than Mosul, Antep was no different than Aleppo. Gaza was an inseparable part of our homeland. When you visit Çanakkale, I'm sure many of you have visited Turkey, Martyr Cemetery. Take a good look at the names and cities on the tombstones. There you will see sons of Gaza and Skopje lying side by side, just as you will see sons of Balıkesir and Şanlıurfa lying side by side. So much so that in the list of Çanakkale martyrs, Gaza with its 53 fallen sons ranks above most of the cities within our borders today. But unfortunately, little time. But they unfortunately separated the Turkish nation from all these lands that are as much as our own, as our blood, our lives and our love. Not only did they physically separate us, but they have also turned every trick in the book to uproot them from our minds and our hearts. We must never forget the lessons we learned from the dark days, when millions of our people lost their lives and millions had to leave their homes and seek refuge in Anatolia. From this arena where we have come together to support our Palestinian brothers and sisters in Gaza, we must also live with determination to never allow new Gaza to arise. Dear brothers and sisters, I have a lot of other quotations. So far, we cry for Gaza. We try to help. We sent aircrafts, over 8 aircrafts. We sent field hospital, ships to help Gaza. Inshallah, these times will pass, and inshallah, with our prayer, with our dua, physically and emotionally, spiritually. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.